Okay, so the fourth and final stop on our virtual field trip is at Zion National Park. And at this stop, students are going to do an investigation first, more of the resources and the different areas within the park. It's kind of a big place, and so they're going to have to do a lot of research here beforehand. And to do so, students will use the photo tool. As you can see, there are a lot of photos surrounding the area, and also the webcam tool. So students will be able to consult this webcam and be able to see some real-time images and footage of the national park. And then they will also use all of these little photo icons to be able to see some of the different places that exist within the park. Um, so they might, for example, look at some of the rock features, or some of the plant life and the wildlife, and they're kind of just going to explore again and see what the area looks like and what kinds of places that they can find. Um, and then students are also going to use that same image overlay tool again, and if they consult the map citation, they will see that Zion's is also located in the steppe climate, so that they will have a good idea maybe of some of the animals that might live in this area as well. So I'll go ahead and uncheck that. And then because of the additional information that students will have from the webcam and the photo layers and anything else that they look at, they will be able to do some more hands-on looks, have a more hands-on look at what Zion might be like. And then to conclude this first part of the Zion National Park Placemark, the students will be given a list of possible plants and animals. Some of them might be the same as the other plants and animals that they saw at the other three locations, but they also might be new. Things like deer and snakes and rodents and sagebrush and all those kinds of plants and animals that they may have seen at the other locations, or maybe not. And then they will work in small groups to determine where within the Zion's area they think that these plants and animals might be found. So, for example, if students were given a fish, for example, they know that fish have to live in water, and so they might consult something like this that shows one of the waterfall areas within Zion's. And so after they will have figured this out, their next task will be to use the polygon tool. So they will go and add a polygon. And so, for example, where we just found out, they might have seen that emerald pool, and so they can draw their own polygon to say, okay, this area here is an area that might be where fish would live, or because it's close to water, and they also might see, for example, if they have some animals that they know need to eat grasses or brush or something, they might see another picture that will tell them that that's where those animals would need to live. So they will use that polygon tool to kind of show the area in which they think these animals or plants should exist. And again, they won't know for sure because that's just their prediction. But after making these polygon areas, they will again consult the National Park website for Zion National Park, and they will be able to see some of the plants and animals that do in fact live in the park. And so there's again a plant website and an animal one, so they will be able to consult both of those. And then some of the questions that they may receive during this at this Placemark are, why would plants and animals only exist or live in certain areas? It will come down to the resources that are available to them. And then would any of the plants and animals, for example, from this area of Zion National Park, be able to live in any of the other areas that we stopped at before? And then after they've explored kind of and looked at some of these pictures and areas and everything, Part 2 of this activity will consist of another whole class discussion that will be about all 4 locations that we looked at on our trip. And as the teacher, I will help my students make lists that will go with each of the 4 areas that they looked at. So Arches, Zion's, Silver Lake, and Antelope Island. And they will be able to use, put together the information that they gain from each of these areas about the plants and animals that live there. And we will make characteristics for each of those. And then students will be able to choose one of those areas to depict with art. They will use magazines and other clippings from the internet to be able to make collages that will show the animal life and plant life that they learned about for each area. And then these collages will be displayed in our classroom with the list so that they can remember what the different areas of Utah were like and what wildlife existed there. And they'll be able to use those as a resource in our classroom from that point forward. So that is the virtual field trip that I've come up with, and I think it will be a good way for my students to learn about Utah from more than just a book or a lecture or anything like that, and it'll be much more engaging for them.